Hi and welcome. I'm Heidi. Thank you for joining me for Intro to Yoga. So we are moving on to triangle pose. All the poses where you'll probably find us making a triangular shape in our body. But what I absolutely love about these poses is they are grounding poses. The purpose of them is to ground us. And what I mean by that is, I don't know if you've probably felt like all your energy's up in your head, there's so much going on, you feel a little flighty, maybe a little stressed, you feel like your thoughts are all over the place. These poses brings that energy from your head all the way down into your feet, into the ground, and then suddenly you feel supported and stable, and then you can think clearer throughout the day. So for me, these poses were like game changers. I had what I call it's like a scatterbrain. I was scattered all over the place, and just doing this practice over and over again has helped to train my mind to feel grounded. And I use these principles throughout the day, that when I start feeling like, oh, I'm getting all over the place, using the same principles. I might not be doing a pose like in the middle of the grocery store, but I use the principles of my focus and my breath, feeling their grounding into the earth, and that makes me feel better. So I highly recommend for this to have blocks. Blocks just brings the ground up to you. You have a little more space for you to align your hips properly, or your spine, or the legs, and you'll just feel a little better in this pose. And you might even be able to go a little deeper too when you have that space to move. So highly recommend blocks. If you don't have blocks, use some water bottles, as long as they're nice and sturdy, maybe some cans or a book. Those would work too. So I'm going to actually put these blocks top of my mat. I normally always practice with blocks every single time, just because it makes me feel better in every single pose. So usually I always just put them at the top of the mat. And then we're going to start in a child's pose. And child's pose for me is an amazing grounding pose, because it literally shuts the world outside and it just brings you onto your mat. You close your eyes and you're just in this present moment. So let's do that. Let's bring your knees towards the edge of your mat, your big toes to touch. Sit the sit bones back, and you go as far as that feels good for you. Arms nice and wide and forward, and then drop your forehead down to the earth and bend the elbows so your forearms are down on the earth. Closing your eyes, I'm going to take a slow breath in through the nose and a slow breath out through the nose. Breath in, breath out. As you breathe in, notice how the palm of your hands are connected to the earth. As you breathe out, notice the forearms, the elbows connected to the earth. As you breathe in, notice the knees, shins, and the tops of your feet connected to the earth. And as you breathe out, just noticing the lengthening of your spine. Noticing as you hug your lower ribs in to activate your core. And then press your palms into the hands and lift the elbows up so you come into a more active child's pose. Breath in. And breath out. Beautiful. Start walking your hands up to underneath your shoulders. And then we're going to bring your knees underneath the hips. A few rounds of cat and cow here to warm up the spine. Inhale, lengthening, opening. And exhale, round. Bring the chin to the chest. Inhale, open. Exhale, hug it in. Inhale, noticing as you arch your hands connected to the earth, the tops of your feet, the knees. As you exhale, hug it in. Noticing as the energy starts coming down towards the earth. Inhale, arch. Feeling a little more settled, a little more grounded. Exhale. Come to a neutral spine. Let's curl your toes, downward facing dog. Exhale it out. Come up high onto the balls of your feet. Inhale. Then bring those heels down. Exhale. You might hear some snap, cracks, and pops in the joints, and that's completely normal. Inhale, come on up. And then bring the heels down. Exhale. As we move through poses, remember, you never want to feel any sharp pain. You want to find your edge where you're like, oh, that feels like a good deep stretch, but not Ow, I feel that. Ow, I feel that is your body saying, nope, too far for me today. One more time. Inhale, we'll come up high on the balls of the feet. And exhale, the heels come down towards the earth. Right leg goes all the way up and back. Big breath in here. We're going to step it through for a moon pose. Let's bring those blocks nice and handy here on either side of the mat by your foot. And look forward. I'm going to bring those hips forward. Just going to stretch through these front hip flexor muscles right here. And then you're going to send the hips back. You can keep that right knee bent and just lean back a little to get a stretch to the calves and the hamstrings. Let's do that again. Inhale, moon pose with our hands down on the block. And you send the hips back, half splits. One more round. Inhale. And then send it back. Exhale. Moon pose. Inhale. This time you're going to curl your back foot and lift the back knee up for a runner's pose. I'm going to show you a variation of a pyramid pose that I really like. Bring your hands up onto the highest setting of your blocks. And you're going to straighten your front leg, come up as high as you can on the ball of your back foot. Take your right thumb into your right hip crease and guide that right hip back. And notice how now instead of having this nice long spine, and we want to keep those hips squared. So we want to keep that right hip and the left hip in line. Right here is this pyramid pose variation. And why I love this so much here is I feel like I have some space to square off the hips. I've got some pretty tight legs and short arms, so that's why I like to use the block. So I bring the floor up to me and now I have room. If I was putting my hands on the floor, I feel so compacted here. I don't feel like I have enough space. That's why I bring the floor up. And I've been doing this for years and it feels so good in my body. Keep seeing that right hip back. Let's rebend that right leg and then step that left foot forward, fold forward. Let's come into a ragdoll. So bend the knees, pinkies opposite elbow creases, and let your head be heavy. Now we ground it down to the earth, and we soften the upper body. So you can sway the body, upper body that is, up and down, side to side. Just feel some movement there. But then we got that stability in the legs, that grounding. Beautiful. Let's release the hands. Bring your hands back. Bring the blocks close by. Bring your hands down to the earth and then step it back. Downward facing dog. A big breath in here. Breath out. Come up high on the balls of the feet. Inhale. And then bring the heels down. Again, just to that edge where you feel a deep, beautiful stretch. Come back up. Inhale. And the heels back down. Exhale. Okay, one more round. Inhale. Back down. Exhale. Three-legged dog. Your left leg goes up. You're going to step it through for that moon pose. Bring that back knee down. I'm going to bring the block to the highest setting because I want a little more room here. I'm going to send my hips forward, getting a nice stretch down the front of the body. Now maybe even looking up. Beautiful. Let's send those hips back, half splits. Don't feel like you have to straighten out this knee. You can keep it nice and bent. That's all good. You go to that edge. All right, bend the knee, look forward. Maybe even look upside the shoulder blades down your back. Send the hips back as you exhale, half splits. Again, one more time. Inhale. Just warming up those joints, warming up the muscles. Beautiful half splits. We're going to come back to that moon pose. We're going to lift that back knee up. Let's square off those hips. So we're tractioning that right hip bone forward, traction that left hip back. Nice, right there. Strong legs. Using those blocks that we have now, we're going to straighten the front leg. Remember, if you have the ball of your heel down, it's putting a lot of pressure on the calves and the hamstrings, stretching them. I like to bring the heel up so then I have more room to square off my hips. And that's what we try and do with the pyramid pose. I'm also bringing up my left toe. You can do that too. Or you can bring your left toes down to the earth. Feel that grounding that way too. All right, halfway lift. Breath in here. Maybe you fold it forward. Breath out. Halfway lift. Breath in. Fold. Exhale. Halfway lift. Inhale. Let's bend that right leg and step it to the top of your mat. Bring the blocks on either side here. Halfway lift. Inhale. Let's spin the inner thighs to the back of the room. Hug the lower ribs in and fold it forward. Exhale it out. Let's press down to the floor and roll all the way up. Circle, sweep your arms all the way up to the sky. Bring your hands to your heart center and exhale. Nice. Circle, sweep. Arms up to the sky. Breath in. Chair pose. We're going to sit on back. Nice. Right here. Firing up the muscles in the legs. Lifting, hugging them into the bones. Hug those muscles right into the bones. Hug your lower ribs in. Arms can come up or in prayer. Beautiful. Hold here. Big breath in. Breath out. Breath in. And breath out. Circle, sweep your arms all the way up. Fold it forward. Exhale it out. Halfway lift. Breath in here. Hands onto the shins or the thighs. Hands down to the earth. Step it back. Downward facing dog. Take a big breath in through the nose. Open your mouth. Let it out. Right leg goes all the way up and back. Inhale. We're going to step it through for a warrior 2. So we're going to cartwheel your hands coming all the way up. So let's get set up with our warrior 2 here. So pivot your right toe to face the front of the room and bend that right knee directly over the right ankle. Your left out edge of your foot is parallel to the back of the mat. Let's tilt the tailbone down and lift up everything. Pelvic floor hugging in and reach your arms out nice and wide. Soften through the shoulders. So I want to think of what's happening with the feet. We're feeling that grounding, right? This is the grounding pose. We're taking our breath, sending it all the way down our body into the feet. And we're going to then activate the arches of the foot. Bring up the energy up through the arches of the foot. Yes, the inner thighs are nice and active. You're pressing down on the outer edges of the feet a little bit more. Beautiful. All right, let's flip your right hand up to the sky. You're going to reach far forward and then drop your right hand down to your thigh. You can bring your forearm down, or you can get nice and tall and send your left arm up. Now, you can go as low down as you want, but if you notice as I'm going down, I'm losing that triangle shape that we're trying to make right over here. You see that triangle shape? So my body is nice and straight, torso straight, and that fires up a lot of the muscles around the core. So you want in the side body. So you really want to keep that nice long engagement and let all the muscles fire up and get nice and warm. And we're here with the breath. Inhale and exhale. Keep bringing that attention back to the feet, grounding down into the earth. Nicely done. Come all the way up, warrior 2. We're going to straighten that right leg now. Bring your hands onto your hips. I have to shorten my stance a bit, but this might be good for you. So try it out. So I'm going to just heel turn my left foot, back foot in. Take my hands onto the hips and just bring my hips all the way to the back of the mat. And I'm keeping that torso straight again and just leaning over as much as I can until I start losing that shape. Come back up. I'm going to lift up through the energy of the feet. I don't want to just dump in. Lift it up. Yes. Hand onto the shin or a block onto the thigh, wherever it may be, and lift that left arm up. Right here. Beautiful. Triangle pose. Trikonasana. Focus down through the 4 corners of your feet. Lift up that energy from the feet all the way up into the legs to the core. And then come all the way up. Star pose. You're going to bring the heels in, toes out. Reach your arms nice and high. Bring the hands to your heart center. Goddess pose. You bend the knees so they're tracking over the toes. Maybe you just waddle into it to find your deepest goddess pose right here. Tilt that tailbone down. Hug pelvic floor in and stay right here. Take a breath in here. Breath out. Breath in. Breath out. Let's bring your thumbs onto your inner thighs, fingertips to the back. I love this pose. This feels so good. Inhale. Then bring your left shoulder forward. Exhale. Press in. Oh, that gets a nice little side body stretch, especially because we work that side body so much. Come back to center. Breath in. And we exhale. Nice. Come all the way back out. Reach your arms nice and high. Warrior two to the back of the mat now. So sitting up here. Outer edges of your feet pressing down into the earth. And bring your hands out. Soften shoulders. Hug belly button in. Press down. But then lift that energy up, the pelvic floor up. So we're not just dumping. That's not what we want. We want to lift. Activating the muscles in the legs. All right, flip that left palm up to the sky. We reach far forward and then drop the hand down, right arm up. I want you to think about the essence of an upward facing dog. So we're bringing the shoulder blades towards each other and opening up here, but we're still activating the core here, so we're still hugging in. This is an intense pose. This will do it for you. This one's gonna really start heating up here for you. So stay here with the breath. Nicely done. Nice, back up into the warrior two, straighten that front leg, moving into Trikonasana. Again, I'm heel toeing that right back foot in. I need that to feel really stable in my Trikonasana. Hands on hips, send the hips to the front of your mat this time. And you're gonna come on down until you feel like I'm about to lose this straight torso here. So the ribs are still in one line, they're not compressing. Dropping the left hand, right arm up. Think about shoulder blades towards each other. And then tilt this tailbone down. Activating the leg muscles, outer hip muscles. Pressing that energy through the outer edge of your foot. Nice. All right, come all the way back up to a star pose. But this time, I want you to bring your heels out, toes in, hands at heart center, and you're gonna hinge forward right here. Straddle forward fold, making another triangle here with our legs, right? So heel toeing the toes in, heels out. This is a great way for you to feel that pressing down through the outer edge. All four corners of your feet are connected to the earth, but you lifting that energy up through the arches of the foot, lifting that energy up. Take a big breath in here and then fold it forward, exhale it out. Feel free to keep those knees bent too. Inhale and exhale. Nice, come halfway up. Let's bring those heels in, circle, sweep your arms up, nice star pose. Nicely done. And then just face the front of the room, cartwheel your hands down to the earth. Let's step that right leg back, downward facing dog. Come onto all fours. Inhale, we arch your spine. Hug your belly button in. Exhale, we do. Neutral spine, downward facing dog. Exhale it out. Bring that right leg all the way up and back. We're going to step it through for a very short warrior one leg. We're going to move into a pyramid pose. So I need these blocks, so bring them in here. And I'm going to take that back leg and I'm going to shorten this stance quite a bit. It's like a warrior one. Remember warrior one, we were like here. Same idea, but we're going to shorten the stance a bit. And we're going to make sure this is a nice wide stance here too. So you heel toe this right foot out. All right, from here, take your right thumb into the right hip crease and straighten that leg, and notice how the spine is nice and long now. Again, if I didn't have the block and I'm down here, I don't feel like I have a lot of space. So for me, bringing the blocks into this equation here really helps to find some space. So keep send that right hip back. Now you're activating the outer hip muscles. That's the muscles that are working. Obviously the core, back, that's all working now. Legs, fire those legs up. The stronger the legs, the more stable and grounded you are. And then I want you to think about shifting your weight back. So not forward, but shifting it back. Yes, beautiful. Breath in here and breath out. Let's rebend that right leg a bit and step your left foot forward. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So take that right leg back. Make sure it's a nice short warrior one. I'm going to heel turn my left foot out. I need a nice wide base for this. Left thumb, left hip crease, straightening that left leg. Boom, right there, straight back. Bringing the hands down, shifting your weight back. So this is a pyramid pose right here. Beautiful, super grounding pose. Keep sending the breath. Actually visualize the breath coming in through the nose, into the lungs, into the belly, and then down the legs and into the feet. And then breathe that imaginary, that breath coming from the feet, imagining it coming from the feet back out again. It's a great tool to use whenever you feel like you need to be grounded. All right, let's step that right foot forward, fold forward. Bring your hands onto your hips. Inhale, arch your spine. Hug your belly button and exhale. Standing cat and cow. Inhale, arch. And exhale. Circle, sweep your arms all the way up. Bring your hands to heart center. Exhale. I'm going to add on to that pyramid pose. We're going to add a twist in. So this can be really challenging. So know that you do not need to go deep in the twist. So let's fold forward. And we're going to first send that left leg back. So we have the right foot forward, that short warrior one again. Right thumb, right hip crease, straighten that right leg. You don't need to straighten it, remember. You go to your edge. All right, from here, keep sending that right hip back, shift the weight back. Legs are so super strong, they're like glued down to the earth. Taking that left hand on the left, over your left block, I want you to think about just sending that right shoulder up to the sky. And then maybe that right hand goes up. Now you notice my hand is mostly just above parallel to the floor, and that is okay. Ideally, one day, maybe it can go all the way up, but if I do that, my alignment in my hips goes out. So I focus on keeping my hips squared, and I don't let the arm go out that much. Also a great way to keep your hand on your hip and the elbow bent. That really helps in the twist too. So let's breathe in here and breathe out. Another breath in, another breath out. All right, place your right hand onto that block and then step your left foot forward. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Step that right foot back and heel toe that left foot if you need to. Get into that short warrior one leg, set up those blocks, straighten that left leg, send that left hip out. I like to keep my left hand onto this left hip especially when I'm doing the twisting so that my hip doesn't booty comes sticking out, right? All right, right hand down, and we twist. Beautiful. Breathe here. Maybe the arm goes up. Remember, it doesn't matter how high or how far back your hand goes. You might notice one side is different to the other. And close your eyes maybe. And bring your awareness to all four corners of your feet. The firing up of the muscles in the legs are strong, strong leg muscles. Then bring your left hand down to the earth. Step your right foot forward, fold forward. Let's move the blocks out of the way. Halfway lift, breath in. Fold forward, breath out. Hands down to the earth, downward facing dog. And just get a little lengthening through the back of the legs. All right, bring your knees down onto the earth, onto all fours. You're going to swing your legs around, coming into a seated position. And you're going to slowly make your way down onto your back. You guessed it. We're coming to the end of the class where you get to just chill for a moment. But what I want you to do is slowly come on down on the back. And then you want to heel toe your feet all the way to the outer edges of your mat. And I want you to drop your knees in and let them collapse in. Now, if that doesn't feel good for you, then don't do that. Heel toe your feet hip distance apart. If that feels better for you to lengthen your legs, straighten it down into a Savasana, you can do that too. It's completely up to you. I like to do this because, especially with all this lower back and in the hips, this just for me feels really good and a nice release from all those grounding triangular poses. Maybe you want to bring one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Maybe you want a little extra grounding and you put your palms down onto the earth. And you know, just close your eyes here for a moment. Take a breath in. And a breath out. I want you to visualize as you take a breath in, how it comes in through the nose, down into the lungs. Follow that breath as it moves down into the belly, the legs, the knees, the ankles, and then that connection all the way on the ball of your feet, the arches of your feet, the heels of your feet down to the earth. And then as you exhale, visualizing this air coming from the feet and moving all the way back up and out through the nose. Inhale in and down to the feet, to the ground. And then exhale the air up and out through the nose. Just a few more of these. Inhale down into the feet, to the ground. And then exhale it all the way up and out. And let's bring your knees apart and extend the legs nice and long for your Savasana. I'm going to keep my palms facing down, but maybe you want to have your palms facing up, or maybe you can cactus thumbs, whatever feels good. Maybe you even want a pillow under your head. Anything that makes you feel like you can be completely relaxed. Now the great tools really to bring awareness of that connection to the earth, the grounding. So simple as feeling that your energy is in your head, or you're feeling anxiety or stress. And to bring your awareness to the breath, and you feel the four corners of your feet connected to the earth. Maybe if you're sitting down, you feel your feet and the sit bones connected, either to a seat or to the ground. And then right here, I want you to bring your awareness to your heels. Feel your heels and the earth touch. Moving your awareness to the calves that are connected to the earth. Move the awareness to any part of the leg that is touching the earth all the way up to the sit bones. Maybe even to the lower back. Feel any connection on the upper back to the earth, the shoulder blades. The arms, feel the connection. Maybe with the palms facing down, you can feel the fingertips touching the earth. But if the palms are facing up, you feel the back of your hands connected to the earth. Take that awareness all the way back up your arms and all the way to the back of the head. Maybe moving your head left to right. And then bringing your awareness again back to the breath. Gentle breath coming in and out. And bring the hands to your heart center in prayer. Letting your hands rest right onto your heart, the thumbs connection to the sternum. Take a breath in here and a breath out. Please move your thumb with your hands in prayer, touching onto your forehead. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I'll see you again soon. Namaste.